If you've ever put on a perfectly good outfit, clean jeans, a simple knit, maybe a blazer, and still felt like you looked fine, but not quite expensive, it's almost never the clothes, it's the accessories. Accessories are the fastest way to signal polish. They're also the fastest way to accidentally date your look or make it feel a little try-hard, especially in 2026, when the overall vibe has shifted toward cleaner silhouettes, calmer hardware, and materials that look rich without having to announce themselves. So today, I'm going to walk you through an avoid versus buy guide for the accessories that genuinely elevate your style this year. Think of this as a filter you can carry with you when you're shopping, so you stop buying pieces that feel exciting for 5 minutes and then sit untouched because they suddenly look off. And just to be clear, I'm not saying you can never wear any of the avoid items. Style is personal, and there are always exceptions. But if your goal is that elegant, put-together, quietly expensive look, this will help you make choices that last longer and photograph better. Here's the mindset shift first, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. In 2026, the most elegant women aren't wearing more accessories, they're wearing better accessories. The shapes are cleaner. The materials have more depth. The hardware is controlled instead of everywhere. And the overall effect is calm, not noisy. When an accessory looks expensive, it usually gets a few things right. The shape feels deliberate, not fussy. The material looks substantial, not thin or overly shiny. The hardware doesn't scream. The scale makes sense for your face and frame, and the placement flatters your proportions, creating length and clean lines rather than chopping you up. Let's start with jewelry, because this is where a lot of women accidentally fall into the expected set trap. One of the quickest ways to make jewelry look less elevated is when everything matches perfectly in a very predictable way. A tiny chain necklace, tiny studs, a tiny bracelet, a tiny ring. Each one delicate, each one coordinated. It isn't that delicate jewelry is bad, it's that when every piece looks like it came from the same set, it can read like you didn't style anything. It reads like you just put on the jewelry. The same goes for those pre-made layered necklace packs. They're usually too dainty, they tangle, and on camera, they reflect light in a messy way. Instead of looking refined, they can look like a jumble of thin metal sitting awkwardly on the collarbone. So what should you buy instead in 2026? You want jewelry that feels simple but intentional, almost architectural. Think sculptural shapes, ribbed metals, organic curves, bold but clean hoops, a substantial cuff, or a pendant that has presence without being fussy. Silver also feels especially modern again, and when it's done in sculptural shapes, it reads contemporary in the best way. The easiest formula to follow so your jewelry always looks expensive is this. Choose one hero piece and one quiet anchor. One statement near the face, either earrings or a necklace, then one supporting piece like a ring or a slim bracelet. 2 points of interest max, because the moment you stack multiple statements, big earrings, bold necklace, stacks of rings, chunky bracelet, you lose that calm, intentional feeling. It turns into everything at once, and the outfit starts wearing you. Now sunglasses, because sunglasses can modernize an outfit in 10 seconds. They add structure to your face, and they make even a simple look feel finished. The styles I'd be cautious with right now are the very rounded, oversized bug-eye shapes that instantly place you in a specific era. In 2026, the mood feels sharper and more intentional, so overly rounded frames can read dated faster than you expect. I'd also be careful with super trendy tinted lenses combined with a strong frame. If both are loud, it can tip into costume territory. What looks modern now are shapes with structure. A slightly oversized aviator with clean lines, a sharp cat eye that lifts the face, or those sleek, elongated 90s-inspired frames that sit more horizontally and feel refined. They don't have to be tiny, but they do need to look controlled. And here's a simple trick. Let your sunglasses be the cool element in an otherwise classic outfit. If you're in jeans, a white tee, and a trench, A strong pair of sunglasses instantly creates that quietly expensive energy. It looks effortless but intentional. Next, bags. This is where the biggest mistakes happen because bags have so many opportunities for things to go wrong. A bag can upgrade the simplest outfit, or it can undo everything. What I would avoid in 2026 are bags that feel dupe-coated because they rely on heavy visual signals. Quilted patterns with chain straps, big logos, shiny hardware everywhere, and an overall look that's trying to reference something expensive rather than simply being well-designed. The same goes for thick fabric straps with bold branding or prints, and bags with too much going on, contrast stitching, random embellishments, multiple decorative panels, and hardware in several places. Even if you spent money, the bag can still look busy rather than luxurious. What looks expensive now is surprisingly simple. Clean silhouettes and rich materials. Smooth leather, suede, subtle croc embossing, woven textures, done in a restrained way. You'll see more bags where the design is about shape and proportion, not decoration. East-west shoulder bags, slouchy hobos with clean lines, minimal top handle bags, and soft leather clutches all feel current because they don't shout. They just look good. Styling-wise, think balance. If your clothing is relaxed, wide-leg trousers, softer knits, choose a bag with a cleaner structure so the outfit looks intentional rather than sloppy. If your outfit is already structured, like a blazer and straight-leg trousers, you can go for a softer leather bag to keep it modern and effortless. And don't stack statement textures. If your bag is suede, keep the rest simple. Now, quick reset because this next category is where outfits either look quietly expensive or instantly try hard. Belts. Belts are small, but they completely change your proportions. In 2026, the belt moment isn't really about flashy buckles or obvious branding. I'd avoid belts where the buckle is essentially the brand name. Big initials, oversized logo hardware, and very shiny gold that screams for attention. I'm not saying you can never wear logos, but if the logo is the whole point of the belt, it can read more like status signaling than style. I'd also be cautious with loud prints, especially aggressive animal prints. Leopard can be chic, but it's easy to get wrong. Instead, look for belts that belong in a capsule wardrobe. Smooth leather, suede, subtle texture, minimal buckle shapes. Hardware should be calm. If you want a modern twist that still feels elegant, a rope tie belt or knot belt is such a chic option over a blazer or knit dress. It defines the waist without the harsh visual break of a big buckle. And placement matters. Slightly higher placement can create a longer leg line. Finally, scarves, because scarves are either incredibly chic or instantly costumey. I'd be cautious with loud logo blankets and harsh contrast prints, especially near the face. Big branding can look contrived, and even expensive scarves can look cheap if the print is too saturated or too busy. In 2026, scarves look best when they feel quiet and intentional. Solid wool scarves with clean edges, triangle scarves, cape-like drapes over the shoulders, and silk scarves with minimal, neutral patterns. If you wear a scarf around your neck, keep everything else calmer. And if you're already wearing statement earrings, consider tying the scarf on your bag handle or in your hair instead. It often looks more modern. If you want the simplest takeaway you can actually use while shopping, it's this. In 2026, elegance is controlled. Choose one or two details to lead and let everything else support. Clean shape, rich material, calm hardware, flattering scale. Now tell me in the comments, which category do you struggle with most? Bags, jewelry, or belts? And if you want a part 2, I can do this exact avoid versus buy format for shoes, outerwear, or work bags next. If this helped you, subscribe for more elegant outfit formulas, and I'll see you in the next one.